Ever arrived in a new city and felt dazed and lost? Yes, that was us on our first trip to New York City, not having a clue where to begin. This is Katie from Creative Travel Guide, and today we are sharing these tips for exploring a new city so that you can never feel lost again. Looking for more travel tips? Make sure you hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. So our first tip is to visit the local market. Find out where the local markets are either before arriving or ask at the hotel and get going. You can learn so much about a place by visiting the local market, trying the local food and just watching the locals. It is also a great way to get you off the beaten track a little bit. Our next tip is to sleep before you arrive. If you are taking a long flight, try and sleep on the flight so that you can get going straight away once you arrived at your new city. If possible, try and get an early check-in so that you can drop off luggage before getting out to explore. Learning basic words and phrases is so important when you're exploring a new place. If you are heading somewhere that speaks a different language to you, then make sure you learn some basic words and phrases so that you can navigate the city easily. So you have just landed in your new city, and one of our favourite things to do is people watching. When you arrive at a new city, particularly a hot one, it has become a norm of ours to head to a local bar or pub or cafe if it's before noon. Sometimes, get a seat either outside or one facing the window and just watch the world go by. Now I am sure that hardcore travellers and backpackers will hate this next tip, but my next tip is to embrace your inner tourist. Whether you are visiting a city on vacation or you are moving somewhere permanently, there is nothing wrong with being a tourist and visiting the tourist traps. There are some bloggers and travellers out there who will shun off tourist spots and focus on exploring the places less explored. And yeah, that is great, and we do try and see the less obvious attractions too, but actually visiting the Colosseum whilst in Rome, the Great Wall in China and the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco is what makes those trips so special and amazing. Do not shy away from those busy attractions. There is always a reason that those places are so busy. And our next tip is to talk to the locals. Alongside visiting those tourist spots, try and talk to the locals to get their point of view for interesting things to do in the city. By doing this, you can find hidden gems or an amazing restaurant. If you do, please share those with us in the comments below. We can't wait to hear some more ideas. Now, if you are a foodie, the next one is for you. Take a cooking class. If you are in a city for a while, try your hand at a cooking course. Many courses include trips to local stores or markets, whilst also giving you the skills to make and try the local dish. Plus, it gives you a great opportunity to chat and socialise with other travellers and locals, learning more about their way of life and culture. And whilst we are talking about food, our next tip is to eat where the locals eat. Avoid restaurants with tour buses nearby and picture menus. Instead, visit the restaurants down alleyways or around the corner from popular areas, or ask locals where to eat as well. If a local would eat there, then it will no doubt be good. This same rule applies for street food in Asia. Do not pick up street dishes and snacks outside major attractions. Instead, head to the quieter neighbourhoods to taste authentic local food. When you are visiting a city, especially if it's not too big, try and find as many opportunities as you can to walk to and from places. Walking around a city is one of the best ways to get to know it. It is in those moments where you really get to enjoy and explore what a city has to offer, and you may even discover some great restaurants, bars and attractions along the way. Now this next tip might be quite obvious, but it's about comfort. Make sure that you wear comfortable shoes and clothes. You will be walking a lot around this new city, so make sure you pack appropriately for travel. And with that includes a water bottle. Make sure that you are not dehydrated when you are exploring a new city. Now our next tip is a little bit more practical. Do your research, but don't overplan. Before leaving, use blogs, YouTube, TripAdvisor to plan out what you want to see and do, and work out which attractions are near one another. But do not expect to see the top 20 things to do in New York City in just 4 days. It won't happen. Prioritise and make yourself a rough plan before you go. And then once you've done that, plan an extra day. If time and money permits, try and plan an extra day in your chosen destination. There is always going to be one thing on your itinerary that you missed out because of various reasons. So planning an extra day gives you a little bit more time to see things at your own leisure and maybe visit some of those hidden gems that you discovered and learnt about earlier on in your trip. Now our next tip is definitely something that I am guilty of. Get up. In honesty, we are guilty of being those people who have occasionally laid in during a trip and ended up missing something we wanted to see. When travelling for long periods of time, lying in is definitely okay, but when you are only in a city for a few days, then get yourself up bright and early to explore. Nowadays, our general rule of thumb is to leave by 8 AM at the latest so that you can see most of the attractions during the morning. And don't you dare head back to your hotel room before 8 PM. Now, in the world where Instagram is everything, this one might sound a little bit obvious, but photograph your trip. Make sure you take photos of your adventures whilst you enjoy them. They make for great memories and we would love to see them, so do share them on Instagram and tag us Creative Travel Guide. That being said, take the photographs for you and not for Facebook. I know so many people who take photos and spend most of their trip worrying about getting the perfect photo. Make sure that you're enjoying the moment as well. And our next tip is to relax. You are on vacation and no matter how much you want to see, you must find time to relax. Whether it's taking time for a shopping trip, heading to a show or visiting a spa, find time to unwind. We love heading to local restaurants, trying the food and relaxing in the evening, going around to local bars and restaurants. Now our next tip is to follow bloggers. Okay, so this one may be biased, but I wouldn't have seen and done half the stuff that I have done on our travels if it wasn't for the advice given from travel bloggers. Have a search online and see what bloggers have chosen to do in your destination. Of course, feel free to subscribe to Creative Travel Guide whilst you're at it, but also check out bloggers who focus on your chosen destination. We will leave some of our favourite links in the description below. Now our next tip is to try a city bus. If you are short on time, then hop on a hop-on, hop-off city bus. These are great ways to get around a new city, showing you all of the attractions and giving you a chance to hop off and explore at your own pace. Another great way to explore a new city is to see it from high. Every city has some type of tall building in it somewhere. Find it and go up it. Not only is the experience itself a great one, but the view can give you a whole new perspective on a city. The Eiffel Tower showed me just how massive Paris actually is, whilst the sky bars of Bangkok offer a different perspective of the city. And whilst we are talking about ways to explore a city, a great way to do it, especially if you are on a budget, is to take a free walking tour. Many cities around the world offer some form of free walking tours. Have a Google and sign up so that you can see the city whilst mingling with locals. Now, our next tip is to get a map. Either download a map on your phone, ask your hotel, or nab one from a tourist stand, but make sure you have a map. Exploring a new city can be tiring, especially when you are walking 30 minutes in the wrong direction. Not that I'm talking from experience. That being said, one of my favourite ways to get to know a city better is to get lost. So I know I complained about getting lost at the beginning of this video, but sometimes getting lost is the best way to discover a new place. So we hope you have an incredible time in your next travel destination. Let us know where you are heading to next in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you liked it, please make sure you give the thumbs up and hit subscribe. It's really helping this channel to grow. Take care, guys. Stay safe. And until next time, stay creative.